In every man there are two voices, one that whispers quietly, hesitantly, riddled with fear, and another that roars forged in silence, refined through pain, unwavering in conviction. But only one of them will shape your destiny. The world is loud, louder than it's ever been, voices from every directions, screens, headlines, critics, doubts, illusions, screaming for your attention, drowning your instinct, pulling your mind in 1,000 directions until you forget what it even feels like. To be still, to be focused, to be at war with weakness and peace with purpose, this is not a time to seek comfort. This is not an age of ease. This is an age of distraction, of convenience, of noise. And in a world of noise, silence is a superpower. You will never become who you were meant to be by listening to everyone else. The voice that leads you, the true voice, lives in stillness, in solitude, in struggle. But most men are afraid of that silence because in it they hear themselves, and most don't like what they hear. So they run into the comfort of distraction, into the arms of mediocrity. They numb the call of the warrior with entertainment, excuses, and endless opinions. But warriors are not built in noise. They are forged in fire, in discipline, in quiet hours when the world is asleep and only the truth remains. Thomas Edison did not invent in the middle of applause. He worked through 10,000 failures alone. While others mocked his madness, he listened only to the voice that said, "Try again." That is the voice you must find. That is the silence you must protect. Because in the silence, something ancient awakens, something primal, a force that once moved empires, carved civilizations, crossed oceans, and defied kings. It still lives in you, the voice of clarity, of purpose, of absolute belief. And once you hear it, truly hear it, you will never be the same. But clarity is not given, it is earned. And it is earned in the arena of stillness, where every false identity is stripped away, where you confront the weight of your doubt, your laziness, your fear, and choose to rise anyway. You are not lost. You are just surrounded by too much noise to hear who you are. When Carnegie was building steel empires while others slept, when Lincoln stood alone for what he believed with a divided nation at his throat, when Ford reimagined transportation against the laughter of the old world, they all had one thing in common. They knew how to silence the noise and build something louder than words, a life that echoed through time. To do that, you must first reclaim your mind. Your mind is your fortress, but only if you defend it. If you let every opinion, every distraction, every fear break its walls, you will fall. But when you guard it like sacred ground, when you plant only what you want to grow, you become dangerous. The warrior is not the one who fights blindly. He is the one who sees clearly, and clarity is the product of solitude. It's found in early mornings before the world has awoken. It's found in the grind when no one is watching. It's found in the painful questions that pierce the soul. Why am I here? What am I becoming? Is this all I can be? If you cannot sit in silence and answer these with truth, you are not free, you are not strong. You are just noisy, but here is your liberation. You do not need permission to begin. You do not need validation to be great. You need only the discipline to shut the world out long enough to hear yourself rise. Because belief is born in silence. Before the world believes in you, you must believe in yourself. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you are willing to become. That belief must be unreasonable, unshakable, like the fire inside Walt Disney when every investor turned their back. Every bank said no, and he still dreamed louder than the world's rejection. Your belief must be so loud that no noise can drown it, so clear that no chaos can cloud it. And belief, real belief, is not a feeling, it's not motivation, it is a commitment forged by decision, sharpened by action. It is waking up every day with one thought: I will not be moved, not by doubt. Not by failure, not by pain, not by the noise. You are not here to fit in. You are here to break through, to outgrow the weakness you inherited, to silence every lie that says you can't, with a life that screams, "Watch me." But to do that, you need vision. Not just goals, not just dreams, vision, a picture of who you must become, so vivid it pulls you through fire. Michelangelo did not just carve statues, he saw angels trapped in marble and carved until they were free. That's what vision is, seeing the masterpiece within and being willing to chisel through the stone day after painful day until it is revealed. But vision is not passive. It demands clarity, focus, and war. Because every day life will hand you a hammer and you must choose what you're building, a cage or a cathedral. You cannot build both. And you cannot build either if your mind is filled with noise. So silence it, turn it off, the feeds, the notifications, the opinions, the envy, the comparison, turn it all off until you remember the sound of your own soul. It is in that silence where the warrior is born. Not in the victory, but in the vow to rise, to move, to grow even when no one sees it, even when it hurts, even when the world is laughing, because growth is never easy, it's bloody, it's silent, it's lonely, but it is the only way forward. You will never outgrow pain. You will never escape hardship, and you should not want to. Because struggle is the sacred forge, the place where purpose becomes real. Pain is the test of your reason for living. It asks you one question over and over again: why are you here? And if your answer is weak, you will fall. But if your answer is strong, you will rise with a fury this world cannot contain. Purpose is not a luxury, it is a requirement. It is the compass that keeps you from drifting when everything inside you screams to quit. And the truth is, without a purpose so strong it makes your hands tremble, you will always fold under pressure. The warrior does not move because it's easy. He moves because he must, because something inside him refuses to die with regret, because every breath, every step, every ounce of pain is fuel to become the man he was born to be. Purpose is the fire, but discipline is the path. Discipline is not motivation, it is not hype. It is a choice, a contract, a war you fight with yourself daily. It is setting the alarm when your body wants sleep. It is working when no one is watching. It is showing up when your emotions scream, "Not today." Discipline is the line between amateurs and warriors, and most people won't cross it because it's brutal, because it's boring, because it's relentless. But that is exactly why it works. When you train your body to obey your mind and your mind to obey your purpose, you become unstoppable. Not because life is easy, but because you are ready. The world doesn't need more opinions. It needs more action, more warriors who live what they speak, men who act without needing applause, who build without needing praise, who rise without needing permission. Do not wait, do not stall, do not negotiate with your greatness. If the path is hard, walk it. If the goal is far, pursue it. If the mountain is steep, climb it. Action is not optional, it is sacred. Henry Ford didn't wait for approval to change the way humanity moved. He acted. While others debated, hesitated, and mocked, he moved, and history bent in his direction. Every dream you have means nothing until it is married to disciplined, consistent, ruthless action. Every excuse you tell yourself is a chain, and every action you take is a key. So ask yourself, do you want the illusion of progress, or do you want power? Because progress comes from action, and power comes from resilience. You will fail, you will fall, you will be broken. That is not a prophecy, that is a promise. But failure is not your enemy, it is your refiner. It will burn away your pride, it will strip your ego, it will test your loyalty to the vision. And if you stay, if you endure, you will rise not just stronger, but wiser, more precise, more dangerous. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than he won before he became the most iconic president in U.S. history. He was mocked, rejected, crushed, but he had something more powerful than charisma: resilience. He did not allow failure to define him, he used it to fortify him, and you must do the same. Resilience is not just about getting back up, it's about learning how to never stay down, to take the hit, study it, and evolve. Because the enemy is not failure, the enemy is surrender. You will never reach your potential by being comfortable. You will reach it by being tested again and again and again until life asks, "Are you still standing?" And you say, "Yes, and I'm not done yet." That is what separates men who are remembered from those who disappear. The warrior keeps showing up, he keeps moving, even when the ground shakes, even when the silence is heavy, even when doubt hisses in his ear. He walks anyway, because he knows growth is not a feeling, it is a decision, and every day you hesitate is a day lost forever. So move now, do the thing you fear, take the step, lift the weight, have the hard conversation. Cut the distraction, write the plan, execute the mission, show life that you're not waiting for it to be easy, you're ready to fight for it to be real, because the truth is you are the only thing standing between who you are and who you could become. And the world, it is not your enemy, it is your battlefield, and it is watching. Every day it asks one question: will you be noise, or will you be signal? Will you be another echo, or will you be the one who moves mountains? You answer with your life, with your habits, with your grit, with your silence, because in the end all warriors understand this truth. It's not about shouting your greatness, it's about living it quietly, relentlessly, unshakably. And when all the chaos fades, when the victories are won, the failures tallied, the world goes quiet again. Only one question will remain: were you grateful? Gratitude is not weakness. It is the highest discipline. To give thanks not only when it's easy, but when it's unbearable, that is strength, that is clarity, that is the mind of a warrior, because when you can suffer and still say thank you, when you can be denied and still choose to grow, when you can lose everything and still remain unshaken, you are no longer a servant of circumstance, you are the architect of meaning. You do not control the world, but you do control your perspective. And perspective is everything. Gratitude is the lens that turns obstacles into teachers, failure into fuel, and pain into purpose. It is not pretending that life is easy. It is seeing that everything can be used to build the warrior within you. The ancients understood this, Stoics knew it, masters lived by it. The more painful the experience, the greater the opportunity to awaken. You are not here to escape difficulty, you are here to evolve through it. Because the warrior does not seek comfort, he seeks transformation, and to transform, you must adapt. Adaptability is not changing your goal, it is changing your approach. It is learning, adjusting, shifting without losing who you are. The river carves stone not by force, but by persistence, flexibility, and flow. When everything changes, adapt. When the plan fails, adapt. When life throws storms, detours, and destruction, adapt. Adaptability is not a survival skill, it is a victory strategy. Darwin didn't say the strongest survive, he said the most adaptable do. Strength without adaptability is brittle, but flexibility with resolve, that is unstoppable. The warrior is not rigid, he is rooted in purpose, but flexible in action. He learns, he studies, he adjusts, and then he attacks again, because this is a lifelong war. Not a single battle, and to win it you must remain awake, awake to yourself, awake to the moment, awake to the whispers beneath the noise. Most people sleep through their lives, they exist but they do not live. They follow but they do not lead, they react but they never respond. You must not be like them, you must not go quietly. You must walk through this life with your eyes open, aware of your breath, your energy, your presence. Aware of the legacy you are writing with every step, every action, every sacrifice. You are not just a man, you are a message, you are a mirror of what is possible, and the world will measure you, not by what you had, but by what you became. So become, not someday, not when it's convenient, now, in this breath, in this battle, in this moment. Let your silence scream louder than the world's chaos. Let your action echo louder than their doubt. Let your life be the sword that cuts through mediocrity, fear, and weakness, a symbol of what happens when one human being silences the noise and builds the warrior, because the world will not remember what you said. It will remember what you did. It will remember how you showed up when it was dark. It will remember that you didn't run, Let them say you were the one who stood when others fell. Let them say you were the one who trained while others slept. Let them say you were the one who built when others broke. Let them say he was not loud, but he was unstoppable. And when it's over, when the dust settles and time carves your story into stone, let the silence say one thing, that in a world of noise you became the signal. That in a world of shadows you became the flame. That in a world of comfort you became the warrior. And you didn't just live, you awakened.